Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's going to be reviewing the Toyota Sequoia TRD Pro. Before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Large Miller Toyota here in Murray, Utah for giving me some time with this Sequoia. As of me filming this video, this particular Sequoia is available for sale, but these things sell super fast, so by the time I post this video, it might already be sold. But regardless, I'll include a link to the Large Miller Toyota in Murray's website in the description down below so you can check out the Sequoia and the rest of the inventory that they have. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Powering this is a twin-turbo V6 paired to a hybrid system and a 10-speed automatic transmission. Total power outputs are 437 horsepower and then 583 pound-feet of torque, with fuel economy being 19 around town and then 22 on the highway. Now, before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood, I love the muscular design, especially how it pops up on either side. And then of course you've got the TRD Pro badge. Now I've got a similar lighting situation to the Tundra. I'm actually a huge fan of the design. And then unlike the Tundra, the grille is quite a bit more reasonably sized. You got the Heritage Toyota logo with a light bar here. And then notice we got the marker lights, and you have more here on the fender flare as well. Parking sensors at the bottom, fog lights, still no tow hooks. But putting it all together, the Sequoia looks so cool from the front end perspective. Coming around the side here, our tire wheel setup is 285, 65, 18 in the front and over in the rear. And you guys can see here we've got the BBS forged wheels as part of the TRD Pro package. I like how TRD has the red around it. And just look how aggressive these all-terrain tires are. We also have some splash guard action. Then you guys can see with the camo print there on the fender flare. And then you guys can see we've got the TRD tuned suspension and shocks. We've got Fox shocks just like other TRD Pro models. And then taking a few steps back, you guys can see with those big chunky fender flares, the big tires as well. And then we do have some side step action here. But yeah, the overall profile on the Sequoia just looks so good. So here's a quick look at our key fob. We have our lock and unlock function. We got the opening for the hatch as well as the Toyota logo. Now in the rear of the Sequoia, you guys can see we have this series of shelves here, or places you can put this little shelf down here to kind of help out with the whole cargo situation, because we obviously have four-wheel drive and we've got a battery pack underneath here, so you can see the floor is higher than this portion right here, so that's kind of what this whole shelf situation is supposed to accommodate. We also have an outlet here in the back, and then with the seats you can press these buttons right here to raise or lower the seats, which is definitely a nice feature to have. And when you're all done with the rear, you can just press this button and then I'll lower the hatch. It also has the kick feature where you can put your foot underneath to also lower the hatch. You guys can see Sequoia there at the bottom, and then notice the Toyota badge is blacked out. And then this is actually for the window, so you can pop open the window, which is another cool feature. And then I love the look of the taillights here. And you guys can see the parking sensors at the bottom. And then we also have the double exhaust tip there on the side. And putting it all together, I think they did a really good job with the design of this new Sequoia. It looks a lot better than the previous gen. Now taking a look at the door panel, you guys can see soft touch at the top, and then we've got some sunshade action. Then look at the stitching down below, and then down below that. Got some window control action as well, and then tons of storage here at the bottom. And then here are the seats. You can see perforated all down the center. Again, you got that camo design, more of the red stitching here as well. Now sitting in the back, legroom's actually really good. We also have some storage there. Got some cup holder action. It's actually pretty soft right there. And then down below, we've got the climate controls. You also have some USBs, all of that. And then you guys will notice we got the whole driveline hump situation that goes all the way down the center. But anyways, headroom, it's good. Now because of the driveline hump, your knees and everything are a little bit higher up here in the back. And you actually have the recline function with the seat, which is nice to have. Cup holders back here. You got a little bit more storage. You actually get sunshades here in the rear as well. And then headroom back here, it's okay. Now take a look at the front door panel, soft touch here at the top, and again you got red stitching, and here's kind of a better look down below, and then also below that. All of our window controls here. We also have our mirror adjustments. The mirrors do power fold in. You get your memory seat functionality as well, and then blind spot monitoring with the mirrors. And payload capacity on this is 1,325 pounds. Now taking a look at the seats, you guys can see TRD Pro there at the top, and look at the camo design here in the center portion. Then we also have our power adjustments on the side, and then Sequoia TRD Pro. And then look at the pedals, really fancy looking. We also have the button to turn on the light bar here. You've got this for the heated steering wheel. Notice for the gas cap release as well. And then the steering wheel itself is manually adjustable. Now taking a look at the steering wheel, you guys can see that we've got this like perforated texture here on either side, so you can get a slightly better grip. We got the marker there at the top and then TRD at the bottom. We've got controls for the adaptive cruise control, the lane keep assist, we got controls for the center stack, voice command, volume controls as well, and then your regular stocks here on the back. Now taking a look at the gauge cluster, you guys can see that we've got all these different menus we can scroll through there on the one side, and then we also have our drive mode select. So these are the on-road drive modes. We also have the multi-terrain select, which has the off-road drive modes. And then in reverse, you can see we've got the full 360 camera system, really good response time with this, and good resolution as well, so it helps you see out of all of the angles here with the Sequoia. And then as for the rest of the infotainment system, well, now that I've got the screen pulled up, you can see we've got a shortcut bar here on the side, and this is the larger unit. Response time with it, I think, is pretty solid. It's very easy to use. And then below, we've got analog control here for the volume. Dual zone climate, you got a climate zone for the rear as well. You've got heated and ventilated seats up front too. Now I've got our trailer backup assistant. You guys can see for the camera system, stability control, hazard lights. That's for the rear locking differential. And then we have our auto hold right here, as well as our parking brake, and then shifter here for that 10-speed automatic transmission. Notice it says TRD on it. And then you guys can see wireless phone charging pad, and then I like this here, some cup holder action. And then down below you can see our drive line select. So we have our 2-wheel high, 4-wheel high, 4-wheel low, and then your drive mode select, and then you got your tow haul mode, and then that's your multi-terrain select, and then you have your crawl control built in there as well. And then here's the center console. Notice we got the pass-through window right there. You got some nice padding and everything, and then we got some USB action. But yeah, good storage overall. And then speaking of storage, here's the quick look at the glove box. And then I like the padding here in the dash, and then the Toyota logo there. Looks cool. And at the very top, you guys can see we've got a camera, rear view mirror, and then we have our controls here for the panoramic sunroof. Now here's a quick look at the window sticker. You guys can see TRD Pro Hybrid, and here's all the standard equipment. We do have a few options added to it. Total MSRP is $81,497, and let's sum things up. Let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's visibility over the hood, both the mirrors, do a blind spot monitoring, and throughout the rest of the rear. And let us set off in the Sequoia TRD Pro. It's gonna be a little bit of a shorter drive. Even though this is not sold, I don't want to put a lot of miles on it because it's TRD Pro. And plus, I did that, if you guys follow the channel, you know that I did that big review of the TRD Pro when I had one for a week. I took it off-road and everything. May or may have not gotten stuck in a mud pit. Look up the videos if you want to see. Anyways, I love how this drives, honestly. First off, I love the engine. The hybrid turbo V6, it's so good. Like, just, it's got really good power, obviously. But I love how it builds the power, and yeah, it drives well. And then on top of that, the suspension is so comfortable in the Sequoia. And the TRD Pro, obviously with the Fox shocks, they do help out with the damping, but just the Sequoia in general, suspension's really comfortable. And again, it has such a good, solid, torquey feel. It's really cool. And you know, for being a big SUV, it actually handles pretty well. It feels like you're driving a tank. You know, the one that everyone always talks about is the Mercedes G-Wagon that feels like a tank, and this kind of has a similar feel to it, where you kind of feel like you're rocking a tank for a vehicle. But yeah, you know, from my past experience, you know, living with one of these for a week and everything, I really do like the vehicle. Obviously there are some concessions there in the third row and the storage behind the third row, but outside of that, this looks really cool on the outside. The seats are comfortable, the suspension's comfortable. It's a great daily driver car, and you know, this is a bigger practical vehicle, but it's not cumbersome to drive. Like, you know, sometimes these bigger SUVs can be kind of like a lot to handle, but this is the right size to where it's still it's big, but it's not too big, if that makes sense. So overall, still really like the Sequoia TRD Pro, and I think that if you're looking for basically a more exciting family SUV, that's what this accomplishes. Or if you just want more room, right? If you want more room than what something like a 4Runner provides. But what I see this is an exciting family SUV, right? Where you can go on adventures and everything. Because even though I did get stuck in a mud pit, this still is it's still pretty dang capable off-road, but let me know your thoughts.